welcome back to Crochet at My House. Today we're doing a book video. Starting off with books we've finished. I'm going to start with this one. This is Post Pixie Missing in Action by Gillian Seale. And I read this as one of our evening books, so you got to hear some of it too. And what did you think of this one?
I thought it was quite nice. The pictures are lovely.
Yeah, it's got some really nice illustrations throughout the book. Quite good. Not super long, but it is a chapter book. Then I'm going to talk about my most hated book that I've read recently, which is The Power of Stars by Louise Lawrence. So this is a sci-fi of sorts about some alien brain cells that get into a rabbit and a dog and then a girl, and nothing really happens. It was really bad. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone unless they want you to be bored to tears, in which case they're welcome to read it. But I really didn't like that, so it's definitely going to be leaving my bookshelf. There's nothing interesting about it inside either. There's no pictures or anything. Yeah. Wouldn't recommend that one. Next, I'll show two books at the same time, as they're both by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddle. So we have Fergus Crane, which was quite good. I really enjoyed this book. It's got their lovely illustrations as usual. Good story. That one's kind of aimed at your slightly younger reader, but still really good. Next is this one. This is Beyond the Deep Woods, which I actually finished today, which will be tomorrow when this video goes up. No, yes, tomorrow? Yesterday? It'll be yesterday when this video goes up. So it's got their nice artwork. And I've read 3 books before this one, which is quite good. And this is about the main character of the last one's kid. So it's quite interesting. If you want to read the little bit on the back, if I stayed still enough. Then I have 2 interesting ones. So I have 5 Children in It by E. Nesbit. So this is the original 5 Children in It. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole with this book because I found out that a bunch of other people have wrote books that kind of go along with this story. But this is nothing like that 5 Children in It film that's wartime, because that's more based on another book that was written kind of about these characters, but not by the person, so yeah. And lastly, I have this one, which I really enjoyed. This is The Incredible Adventures of Professor Branston by Norman Hunter. And the cover just screams interesting and fun. And I do like the illustrations. They're quite fun. That's kind of an odd bit to show you, but whatever. There's another interesting one. This one's quite interesting. Yeah, so I like this, and there are other books in the series apparently. I would definitely recommend this one, along with the Edge Chronicles book, Fergus Crane, 5 Children in It. Even the Post Pixie is quite good, just not that other one.
And I have My Hero Academia, Vigilantes. This one's volume 13. It's by Hiyuki Furuhashi. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. And I quite enjoyed it. He is a hero, but he doesn't have a license to do so. But he's helping the heroes that do have license to help people. And he's fighting this bad one at the moment.
Moving on, we thought we would show what we're currently reading. I just started this book, which is The Little Grey Men by B.B. And it's about the last gnomes in Britain. There's not much else I could say about that because I am literally in the first chapter. But I can tell you who we've got here. So this is Dodder, Sneezewort, and Bold Money. That's the characters on the front. You want to show your thing?
Mm-hmm. I'm still reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I've gotten to chapter 5. I'm quite enjoying it. It's by J.K. Rowling. If there's somebody here that doesn't know it.
And next I have this ridiculously huge book, which is the Book of Ersedy, the complete edition, by Ursula K. Le Guin. So, the Book of Ersedy is one of the books in here. I'm currently on the Tombs of Actuar. That's page. There are these coloured pages as well. And it does have little bits of illustration here and there. Yeah, I have passed this bit. Here's one of the illustrations within the chapters. So that's how that's going. Moving on, we thought we'd talk about all the books that we've finished recently. Starting off with Giants. This is a collection of books, so I will list them off. The Farmer, the Tromp and the Troll by Eric Maple. Jack and the Beanstalk. Stolen Thunder. Master of the Lakes. These three don't have a writer listed. And Big Jumble from Laughing Time Nonsense Poems by William J. Smith. And so it's a collection of different stories. I thought some of them were quite interesting. The first one especially was quite interesting. I think pretty much everyone knows Jack and the Beanstalk. This one I hadn't heard of, so that was quite interesting. Same goes for Master of the Lake. And this one was okay.
Next we have Rowan, the Red Squirrel.
Huh?
No.
And who's that by?
It's by Lynn Richards and John Michelle.
Yeah. So
It was quite a nice story. Here's a pretty picture.
next I have The Enchanted Kingdom. A story by Guido Visconti. It's an interesting story. Don't know that I would necessarily read it again, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was interesting.
There you go. It's interesting. It's maybe a good book to try if you want to read something new.
Next we have The Snow Dragon.
Mhm.
It's by Vivian French.
Uh-huh.
Illustrated by Chris Fisher.
Mhm.
The story was quite nice. It has a sad ending. The big snow dragon dies. It saves everybody.
Next, I have another book that's about dragons. This one's Where's the Dragon? Written by Jason Hook. And you go through the whole book trying to find dragons. And you can try and spot them throughout. That's quite good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I like how this wraps around the cover. Pretty cool.
Next we have George and the Dragon.
Huh?
By Chris Warmel. It might not look like it, but this is really short. Usually when they have these big fancy detail pages, it's longer. Yeah, it's really short.
It's an introduction to those types of books, I think.
Yeah. It's quite nice.
Next, I have this one. This one's quite interesting as it is foreign. So this is Zelia's Secret Plan to Save Her Threatened Valley by Ulrich Zoffer. I mean, technically, a lot of books are written by people in different places, but this one just stood out to me as being different. Where's a good page? This one's good. And the art style is really interesting. I haven't really seen this in many books recently.
Next we have Books Make Good Pets by John Agard, illustrated by Momoko Abe. It's quite nice.
Yeah. Next I have Tales of George and Matilda Mouse by Heather S. Buchanan. And illustrations in this are quite good as well. I will say the shapes of the mouse's heads are a little odd at times.
Yeah.
It's not a bad book.
Next we have a Mr. Men book, Adventure with Pirates. It's been written by Adam Hargreaves and illustrated by him. And it was quite nice. Definitely funny.
Next I have this one. This one's quite wacky. This is Professor Uffendorf's Secret Potions by Gorky Paul and Robin Tazens. It's kind of hilarious. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was interesting. Definitely silly. Next we have Mr. Man, Little Miss, Winter Wonderland by Adam Hargreaves. And it was quite nice. Mr. Tickle was wondering why he couldn't tickle anybody. He had his gloves on.
Next we have this one, which you might notice we have this. We did have to cut off the corner to save the book. I got it free second hand and there was something stuck in here. It was like
Yogurt.
or something, and it was super dry and thick and you couldn't just wash it off without like having to soak the book and it fall apart. So we cut away what we could, and where we've cut, it doesn't affect any of the writing
Or pictures.
or the illustrations, so it's fine. So this is The Story of Eeyore, the naughtiest donkey in the sanctuary, written by Elizabeth D. Stevenson. Yeah. So it's quite a nice little book. Do you like the illustrations as well?
Next we have Hide Me Kipper by Mick Inkpen.
Mike.
It was quite nice.
Then I have Can't Dance Cameron, a Scottish Caper Cayley story. It's quite good. And kind of funny too.
Next we have The Worry Tiger by Alexandra Page and Steph Murphy. It was interesting.
And I have The Church Mouse. Enjoyed this story. The person who wrote this book initially intended to write a book about the different buildings in the area, but then it ended up being all about the mouse. So this is Graham Oakley, and let's anyway, I did a kind of series, but not what you originally intended.
Next we have a Crayola book.
Huh?
I'm having a sky blue day by Maggie Testa. Illustrated by Claire Roster. It was an interesting one.
Yeah. Next, I have the Berenstain Bears book. It is A Week with Grandma. It's by Stan and Jane Berenstain. Decent book. And just so happens to still have its stickers too. At both ends. That's quite cool.
Next we have Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That is nothing like the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Judy Barrett and drawn by Ron Barrett. which the illustrations are quite nice.
Yeah.
There are some similarities between them, like this giant pancake that lands on the school, and them using the sandwiches for our boats.
Next, I have Petunia by Roger. Name in here at all? Okay. Roger I'm not sure how to read it. It's down there. Anyway, this is quite an interesting book. Basically, she goes about with a book for ages trying to say she's brainy. But because she never read the book, she didn't get any more knowledge than when she didn't have the book. Next, I have, did I ever tell you how lucky you are by Dr. Seuss? Hilarious as ever. Highly recommend his books. Then I have Mr. Men, A Christmas Pantomime. And this one's by Adam Hargreaves. It's quite funny.
Next we have The Extremely Greedy Dragon by Jessica Barra, illustrated by Chris Saunders. It was definitely interesting.
Would you read it again?
Not really.
It was okay. Next we have The Lighthouse Keeper's Breakfast by Rhonda and David Armitage. And we enjoyed this book. They're really good.
Yeah.
I think we now have the complete series.
I think so.
They're a really good story. Alright, moving on, we thought we would show some books that we haven't read yet but are looking forward to reading. Starting off with The Time and Space of Uncle Albert by Russell Stannard, which just looks really interesting.
Next we have Zoe's Rescue Zoo by Amelia Cope. It looks like a nice book.
Next, we have this one, which I'm sure Cecile picked out for me. This is The Tourist Trap by Charles Ogden. It does look interesting. It has a kind of shiny eyeball up there. And here's the back. Next, I have Dragon Tales Quest for a Cave by Judy Heyman. And it just looks fun. Here's the back, if you want a quick read of that.
Next I have two Mandy picture stories and a Judy one, which I'm excited to read. They look interesting.
Next I have this book, which is a little bit different to my usual readings as I tend to read fantasy. This is more of a detective story, but it's The Slaughterer in Sapperton Tunnel by Edward Marson. And it's the Railway Detective series, apparently.
And next I have Raised by Wolves by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which it sounds like it's going to be a really good one.
Next I have Buster's Diaries with a new postscript. And this is told by Roy Hattersley. So it's about this dog. And here's the back. Next we have some flat books that we're looking forward to. I have the Untidy Little Hedgehog by Molly Brett. And there's the cover.
Next we have Rupert and the Black Imp by Mike Trumbull.
Yes.
That looks like a nice one.
And I have this book, which when I saw it, immediately caught my eye. This is The Christmas Mouse by Ruth Brown and Toby Forward. And it's based off of my favourite Christmas story, which is of course by Charles Dickens. Which is The Christmas Carol. The one that wrote it is Toby Forward. The pictures are by Ruth Brown. Just in case you wanted to know.
And we've got Castaways on Heron Island, Tales from Fern Hollow by John Patience.
And lastly, we have this book, which is the Deptford Mice Almanac by Robin Jarvis. And it just so happens to be signed, although I don't know how well it will come up on camera, but it's kind of cool. And the reason we put this one at the end is it's not really a story, it's more showing things that go on within the stories throughout the year. So it's quite interesting. And here's the back if you want a quick read of that. We hope you enjoyed today's book video, and if you found any of those books interesting, we hope you get a chance to read some of them. So remember, and like, comment, subscribe and ring the bell for notifications every time we put up a video.